This. First thing first, salute to all the frontline warriors who've been selfless, who are showing selfless dedication and courage to fight the pandemic caused by COVID-19. So, the topic of the day is core strengthening and belly fat reduction. When I say these two terms, we need to understand these are the two important engines, right, which needs to be worked upon. So let's understand the terms very well before I show you the exercises. What is core strengthening, right, and belly fat reduction. So when we talk about core strengthening, let's try to understand what essentially core is. Core is basically the structure which holds the entire body together. So basically it's an engine of the musculoskeletal system, right? Anything that happens to the core leads to a lot of injuries, lot of on problems in the future, right? So let's understand core strengthening, the word core strengthening. So when I talk about core, most of the time what I have generally seen is people think the frontal part is core, right? Let me take that myth out and put it this way, right? So when I say core, I basically mean it's like a cube, right? On the front, you have your diaphragm and your accessory muscles, right? Your trapezius, your latiss, those portions, right? When I talk about the upper part, when I talk about the front is the abdominal muscle, right? Then you have on your sides that are your obliques, right? And the deeper muscles. When we talk about the back, we talk about your erector spinae and deep spinal muscles, right? So when we talk about core, it's not about strengthening one particular area. It's all about strengthening the entire cube together, right? And when I talk about strengthening, let's understand what strengthening means. Strengthening is basically a term where, let's break it. Strengthen means to basically exert your internal force, right? And ing form is always a continuous form which basically needs a regular intervention of exerting force, right? So when we talk about core strengthening, it happens over a period of time, right? So that was the first part of the topic, that is your core strengthening. Let's understand, that's the first engine, right, of the musculoskeletal system. Let's understand belly fat reduction. A difficult one. I think everybody is in today's world look forward to reduce their belly. It's more about cosmetic, or it's more about your appearance. We generally see people that way, right? Let me show you the bigger picture of what belly, when I say the double E engine, what I meant by it, right? A recent study done at Harvard Medical School in 2018 shows that people with increased waistline or a belly fat, increased belly fat, are at 10 to 20% at higher risk of having heart disease and stroke, right? So it's very important for us to understand why I was saying the two engines. When I talked about the core, I meant was it's the engine of your musculoskeletal system. When I talked about belly, it is directly related to your heart, right? So when it's related to your heart, you need to look at the larger picture while you train this, right? I'll not take too much time. So I have designed 15 exercises which basically puts minimal amount of strain at your spine, right? And do not cause any if you have any existing problem, it does not aggravate. I have generally seen people, when we talk about core strengthening or core training, what they basically do is they go to website, they log into website, right? They search for core strengthening and they basically start doing random exercises, and you will see the patient suffering from a back pain or a pull or a strain, right? Let me put it in a very smaller form before I move. So you have a car or a bike, right? And the engine doesn't work well, or it has some concern or an issue, right? what do you basically do? You basically take it to a specialist or an expert to basically give you an opinion about it, right? The same way when I talk about your engine of a musculoskeletal system, an engine of your entire body, right? I would request and suggest people to reach out to your experts, right? Your specialist in guiding you to do the core training exercises. So I'm going to show you 15 exercises that will help you to strengthen your core and also reduce belly fat, right? Let's begin. So the first exercise that I'm going to show you is called the bridging, right? So when we do bridging, I've generally seen a lot of people, many people, they tend to keep the leg too close or too far from the body, right? To understand what we are basically going to do is, first thing, you just have to lie down first, ensure the hands are down, well supported, the shoulders are well supported, right? Bring the leg closer to each other, and when you go up, you tend to inhale. When you come down, you tend to exhale out, right? So you go this way as much as possible. Post this, you can tend to adjust your leg, right? And come down. So let's do this 10 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. With each repetition, ensure that you push more. 9, 10. Give a break of 3 seconds after you finish doing the exercises, right? Next, what you have is very important is the kneel plank, right? When we do kneel plank, I've generally seen people doing it in a very wrong way, which can strain your back, right? And even your shoulders. So the important key here is ensuring your knee, hip and shoulder are aligned, right? So basically what you do is put your elbows down, right? Take both the knees backward, take both the knees backward, right? And ensure that the shoulder, hip and knee is aligned, right? So if you see in this position, it's not aligned. Now what I basically do is I will squeeze my glutes. Very important, you need to press your glutes. So when I do this, I tend to go forward. Now if you see it's well aligned, I look up and let's hold it, do it for 10 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So this is exercise number 2. Now when you basically do these exercises, ensure your glutes here at the back are squeezed well to maintain your knee, hip and the shoulder very aligned, right? Now what we are basically going to do, the next exercise, the third exercise is reverse crunch. So when I talk about reverse crunch, not many times we do a mistake, right? I'll just show you what mistakes generally people do and end up having back problems, right? Now when you lie down this way, right? Generally you'll see people, so when I talk about reverse crunch, the basic important principle here is ensure both the legs are together this way, right? And you do not take your spine, that is this, upward. What you have to instead do is press it down. So if you see here, I'm pressing it down. So I tend to squeeze my glutes downward. I press my hand. So when I go out, when I go up, I exhale. When I go down, I inhale. Right? Let's do this for 10 times. Great. So this was your third exercise, right? So basically this exercise, the main key principle is ensure your curve tends to press the ground and you maintain that, right? And ensure both the legs are together. You do not separate the legs, right? And the key, another key is keep breathing while you're doing this exercise, right? So when you go up, you tend to blow out. When you go down, you tend to inhale, right? The fourth exercise is basically your V-sit. Now, this is very important. You have a lot of variation in this, right? So V-sit is nothing. First, you basically sit down very comfortable, legs spread out, right? You can take both the hands this way, keep both the hands behind your head, right? Now, first thing is ensure that you are in a very relaxed position. You ensure the legs are down now, right? So hold it this way. So when you take this, your body tends to go backward and creates a shape of a V, right? And creates a lot of isometric contraction over your frontal muscles here. Now let's do this for 10 times here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Right, so this was your fourth exercise. The fifth exercise that we basically have is called the tuck crunch. Very effective for your abdominal muscles, very effective for belly fat reduction, right? So let's do this. So ensure that you have a support behind, right? You get a support, right? So what you basically do